Hey folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiatoria. Now, as most people who watch my channel appreciate and understand, Scholar Gladiatoria isn't just the name of a channel. It isn't my name. I know a lot of people like to call me Scholar Gladiatoria. My name's Matt Easton, in case I hadn't mentioned that. But Scholar Gladiatoria, first and foremost, is a fencing club. It's a HEMA club, Historical European Martial Arts. And this is a really brief message just to remind everyone, in fact it's a little bit of a cautionary message, to remind everyone that HEMA isn't just about competition. Now, before any of you kind of jump out of your seats and go, Matt's competition bashing, I'm not at all actually. Competitions in HEMA have been phenomenally successful. They've been great, and I'm not going to harp on about how amazingly good competition and competitive kind of mindset and training and preparation for it has been good for many aspects of HEMA. For example, improving the equipment that we use, the protective gear we use, improving the methods that we practice and train, how much more efficient and effective we've got at teaching people and preparing people for fencing, in terms of bringing people in, new people in who are interested in competitive sporting activities, who aren't interested in some of the other aspects of HEMA, who maybe would have seen it as more of a kind of reenactment-ish kind of activity or even a LARPing type activity, but see the competing side and are drawn to that. Competing has been great for HEMA, but the cautionary message is this: HEMA isn't only about that. Now that is blindingly obvious to huge numbers of people, but sometimes I think we can lose sight of that, and I've been made aware of the fact that sometimes some people engaged in HEMA feel a little bit pushed to the margin or left behind or even neglected by the fact that there is so much focus sometimes in some clubs and in some events put on competition. And we must remember that not everybody does a martial art or a sport in order to go to competition. So even if we're talking about something like modern Olympic fencing, the vast majority of people who do modern Olympic fencing have no intention of going to the Olympics or doing even regional or local competitions. The vast majority of people who play tennis have no intention of competing at tennis. They just want to do that activity. The vast majority of people who do mountain biking aren't intending to go and enter mountain bike competitions, but they want to have a nice mountain bike, they want to go out riding in the countryside, they want to buy the gear, they want to read a magazine about mountain biking, but they're not necessarily intending to compete at it. And that is the same as HEMA, and we mustn't lose sight of that, people. We mustn't forget that the majority, probably the majority of people in your clubs and all of the clubs out there, they just want to go once a week or once a fortnight, maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, however often they go. They just want to go and they want to pick up a sword or whatever weapon it is you focus on in your clubs. And they want to train, they want to have that camaraderie, they want to have that social element, they maybe want to get fit, they maybe want to do the researching, they maybe just really like holding swords or weapons and collecting the gear and reading about it and engaging in that community. So, this is the very simple message. 100% keep doing what you're doing with competitions and competition-based events and everything else, but don't forget that there is a bigger audience, probably, of people who don't want to compete but do want to fence. They want to fence in their local club, maybe occasionally fence with other clubs in meetups, informal meetups, sparring days, open sparring, this kind of stuff. Some people don't even want to spar. Some people just want to practice the techniques and read about it, do more of the theory side. And that's really it. We mustn't neglect those people. And if you watch my channel and you're one of those people, don't think that you're forgotten. I, for one, and I know this is true of most instructors out there, we massively value you. We know that you are the majority of people who train HEMA, and whilst we're not neglecting the people who want to get good at competition, we also don't want to neglect you either. And you are very valued, and you are probably the majority of people who engage in HEMA, and you're incredibly important, and you contribute a huge amount to HEMA clubs in terms of its social structure, building up the numbers if nothing else, but also research and even helping the people who are preparing for competition to have more people to fence against within their home club. Anyway, there we go, a simple message. Let's not forget those people who don't want to compete, and keep training your HEMA, keep training any martial arts. This goes for any martial arts you do, whether it's kendo, karate, kung fu, aikido, jiu-jitsu, whatever. But keep training, keep having fun, and you know, these martial arts have a place in the clubs for all sorts of different people with all sorts of different end goals and motivations. Cheers for watching. I'll see you again soon for another video. Thanks for watching. We've got extra videos on Patreon. Please give our Facebook a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers, folks.